Unfortunately, parents don't often sit down and talk to their children about their financial situation, in good times or bad times. We're probably less likely in bad times. We always want to shelter our children from that, but it's virtually impossible to shelter our children. They're sensitive to the increased stress in their parents, maybe more arguments, more tension. And so if you can sit down and have a family meeting and talk about what's going on and reassure your children that you're going to stay together as a family. These are difficult times and we have to do some things differently, but we will work together as a family, and reassure them and listen to your children. What are their concerns? I mean, they may be concerned that they're going to lose their dog because you can't continue to afford to have a pet, but that may not be what the parent is thinking. So you need to listen to your children and sit down and talk to them in age appropriate ways, not giving them more information than they really can handle. Very similar to advice we give parents about talking about sex. You know, when children ask questions, to give them answers to their questions, but in a way they can accept as at their age. We can prioritize where we spend our money and do that as a family. That can be a very enlightening experience for parents. You know, maybe that piano lesson that's costing money is not something the child values, it's something the parent values. And so by talking to your children and helping them be a part of the plan of where you're going to spend your money, then they're going to be much more likely to buy into that. And if you can plan how you're going to spend your money, then your children will be much more a part of trying to turn off the lights when they leave the room, or maybe having the air conditioner set at a little bit higher temperature. There are things that children can do to help the family, but they need to buy into that plan and feel like they have a say as well. So if you can listen to your children and have them help you set priorities, that'll be helpful. There's been a lot of interest in this topic lately, and I've been doing a lot of soul searching and thinking about this, and I think that if you can reframe this situation, it can have a lot of positives for the family. Even something as devastating of having to move out to a very large home into a smaller home, your family's going to be much more together. Maybe that's translated to the car. If you're trading in that very large SUV into a smaller car, there's going to be more family togetherness. If there's less money to save or to spend on recreational things, you may be as a family looking for low-cost ways to spend money, and that can bring you closer together as a family. So I think there are some positive ways that our family situations may be improved through this economic crisis, but it's difficult to live through it and to help your children come through safe and sound and emotionally secure that you're going to deal with this as a family. I think that employers need to realize that this economic situation can have an impact on their bottom line, and I don't think that many times employers think of that. But we know in times of economic stress that there's more lost time accidents, there's more absenteeism. Workers are worried about their financial situation and their productivity goes down. Their health crises or issues may increase, and that's going to affect all of the employers' bottom line of paying out for insurance premiums. So there's really a bottom line problem here for employers to realize. In 2005, one research group said that 1 out of 4 employees was severely distressed over their financial situation. In May, the Gallup poll said that 80% of people were extremely concerned about their financial situation. And this is true at all age levels. If you've got new employees, they may be managing their money for the first time on their own without their parents' help. They may have student loans. It's going to greatly affect them. If you have young families, the cost of childcare is going up, added to the price of gasoline increasing and the cost of milk and other food items going up. It can really affect that family, and they're just establishing their household. The middle-aged group is really concerned about putting money aside for retirement and looking at the stock market and prices increasing. They're really wondering whether they're going to have enough money to ever retire. And retirees are concerned because they're looking at investments and the return being very low on their investments, and they're already on a fixed income, and they're concerned about paying these increased prices as well. So it affects families at all stages of the life stage. The people who are better able to handle this crisis are people who were proactive and have an emergency fund to fall back on. They are not overextended in debt. They haven't borrowed all of the equity out of their home. Those people are in a better position to handle an economic crisis when it happens. And we know that crises are going to come and go, but those people are in a better position. If you're overextended, if you bought too much house that you cannot afford and your mortgage is about to readjust and prices are going sky high and you don't have any savings to fall back on, you are really in a difficult situation. Our values direct how we spend our money. I think it's difficult when a couple marries and they come from different perspectives, and you have to learn how to merge those together and set priorities as a family. Then when children come into the picture, we need to bring them into this priority setting, and then you need to decide where you're going to spend your money and how you're going to live your life. There's no right or wrong way. It has to be what's right for you and your family, but you have to communicate, you have to listen to each other, and you have to have a plan and get your situation under control. Well, we have a series of publications here at Clemson called Taking Charge in Challenging Times, and there are several parts of those publications that deal specifically with ways to spend less and helping your children cope. If you can teach your children how to cope at a very young age, that's really a life skill that will last forever. But when we shelter our children and not help them really be creatively part of the solution, we're not really helping them learn those coping skills that they're going to need to use through their entire lifetimes. There are 11 different units, everything from sizing up your financial situation, where really you need to get your own stress under control first before you can help your children. And depending on the magnitude of your financial situation, there are things like keeping a roof over your head, making sure that you still stay insured. That's one of the things that many people do, is drop insurance. It's an easy thing to do, but you may be opening yourself up to some extreme financial catastrophes if you do that. Everything from sizing up your situation through making decisions, which bills to pay first. There is a whole series of working your way through your financial situation. And then the last 4 units are really dealing with the stress, and that for my co-author, Dr. Deborah Thomason, of really looking at the family and then getting your children involved and how they can help you spend less money and be more a part of the solution.